Good evening and welcome to Jack Dodsons Racing Insider News with Scott Allen.
I want to know why do I got these big old headphones and you got them slim ones? Look at me on the screen.
You do look kind of funny. This is Virginia Beach's version of the Moron Brothers, right here. So anyway, got an interesting show tonight. We'll see what all turns out in a few minutes, but might as well go on and talk about the racing this past weekend where I won again. And
Oh Lord.
that means you won 3, I've won 2. The other guy won 1. He ain't
And
here
you're
no more.
2 in a row, right?
Yeah, that's 2 in a row.
2 in a row.
And Clayton, sorry, you didn't win again.
Clay was excited because it tended to go. He was going to be the winner. It looked like it was going to be, and then Kyle hit the wall.
You know, I wouldn't want to be Clayton or Kyle because Kyle had the worst weekend.
Yeah. I mean, man, could you imagine?
So that's the Cup winner this week was. Who was the Cup winner this week? Kevin Harvick. Come on, just say it.
Yeah. I know. I was like, dang, why didn't I take Kevin? He put on a clinic there.
When he got out front, he was gone. And then they got that last.
Well, he didn't end up winning. Jimmy Johnson ended up winning.
I mean, Jimmy Johnson. Gosh, I was thinking Harvick.
But you know what? I mean, Jimmy rises to the occasion. Anytime there's like a special on his car with something to do with TV or movies, he always tends to win.
Superman.
Yeah. And that was pretty cool, though.
But, you know, when he got out front on that last, I said, that's it. He's gone.
Oh, Kevin was a little hot. I was listening to him, and it was kind of funny because I heard Rodney come over the radio, and he was like, good job, guys, finish second. Kevin just started, well, that's something. Yeah, I mean, he was hot. Their car wasn't any good. It took their car about 5 laps to get going. And after that, he was a rocket. It was a long run car, but hey, I mean that's just the way it goes. He's won some that way and lost them that way, and that's just part of it.
Chase Elliott had another good run this weekend.
He did. Where'd he end up? 6th?
6th place. He was up as high as 3rd. I mean, he was definitely coming, but it seems like to me, and I'm sure if anybody's listening to this that from down in that neck of the woods, they're probably going to get mad when I say this, but that pit crew has cost him spots.
Ooh.
That pit crew cost him spots on 4 different pit stops in that race. He came in 1 spot and ended up going 2 or 3 spots behind that when he came out.
Mm.
And it's been like that for a little while.
Well,
but
it's a rookie team now. Well, is all the changers and stuff the same guys?
they're basically the same guys. Everybody on the over the wall crew is basically the same.
I didn't know until they said during the race that the 78 team, they have a new crew, and their crew comes from JGR.
And had a 10.9 second pit stop in that race.
They said that they looked over from last year. They had lost 172 spots throughout the whole season. It was an average of 2.5 or 2 point whatever per race that they were losing. So then JGR stepped in and they have a crew. Because I think before, I know at one time they were renting them from Stuart Haas.
They were coming from Stuart Haas, and they initially started out when they were a Chevrolet team. They initially were getting some from RCR too.
Oh, pit crew guys?
Yeah, because Anthony O'Brien was on there. And then they moved him back over to the 27 because he was initially on the 78. And but
yeah, because the last few years they had that Childress Alliance, where before they had a Hendrick Alliance, and that's when they used to have guys from Stuart Haas. They used because Stuart Haas has a pit crew.
School. Yeah, that was not a school, but a developmental program. Not as good as Hendricks. I mean, Hendricks. And
yeah, they got a pretty strong program.
I mean, that the way they go about doing their things there at Hendrick with all that area they've got.
Have you seen, and I noticed they got this around here now, I think GGR is the one that started it down in Carolina. I seen it on Race Hub a few weeks ago. We have this machine that you get in it and your head sticks out, and they make you, it goes to like minus 40 degrees. And they want you to try to stay in for 30 seconds. It's supposed to build blood flow, and a lot of athletes are doing it. It's a pretty neat system. Next time we go down to Charlotte, we want to see you get in it.
No.
I mean, I'll do it. I'd love to do it. When we go to Charlotte, we got to talk to a team who's got one, and we have to do a segment.
What do you got? You just got something you want to feel the pain?
I bet it's pretty rough.
I bet it is rough. I don't want to do it. I have a hard enough time with the regular cold. You know how older folks are. So I know that's where.
I'm glad you said it. I didn't have.
I
to
know
say
that's
it.
where we were headed. I know that's
well, no, I was.
But tonight,
That's just something else I could say I was better than you.
But tonight, I'm not the oldest person in the room, so that's all I got. But yeah, it was. It was a great race. I enjoyed. There was a lot of passing, a lot of stuff going on, a lot of arguments.
Well, let's talk about some of the penalties that may come out. As of right now, there's no penalties. I don't think they should penalize Kyle Busch. How much are you going to penalize these guys till they're vanilla? We need somebody with passion like Kyle Busch. I agree. There's going to be a line sometime he's going to cross over. In my opinion, if you're on your radio, this is your team's radio, and you listen to the guys on the radio at the beginning of the race, there's some team member that comes on and says, this is our rights, this is our stuff, don't get offended, yada, 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 go through a spill every race. So if he cusses on his own radio station and cusses out NASCAR, that's kind of a personal thing. It's like almost eavesdropping, and we are eavesdropping on their conversation. That's them and their team.
If you spend any time around Kurt Busch, that would explain to me. Look, what is said on that radio. That's between them.
That's any of these teams though. If you listen to any of these guys, every one of them get hot on the radio. Every one of them, and then we can go to. Let's go to the Danica Patrick thing. I don't know what the hell. Excuse me. Casey Kane was doing. I heard Rodney Childers come over the radio and said somebody needs to go down there and punch him in the mouth.
Well, I don't understand it, and
she has every right to be mad, and I think he's probably frustrated because things are not going well for him.
Not at all, and his contract's up at the end of the year, and there is a new rumor floating around. You've probably seen it.
No,
the new rumor is that the reason why everything is going so good over at Stewart-Haas right now, Kevin Harvick's contract comes up at the end of this year too.
It is, but I think they have
an option.
They have a 1-year option.
They have a 1-year option. Now, my understanding is there is a very, 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 very good possibility.
See, I don't know because him and Stewart, I see the whole GM thing, but him and Stewart are pretty good friends.
Yeah, they're pretty good friends, but what would you do if you had the opportunity to leave there in a situation where
I would have to make sure every guy on my crew, I wouldn't want to change anything. As bad as that, as good as that team has been from day one, those guys are they're in the top 5 every damn race.
So, yeah, and I'm saying, I know Rodney Childers would end up going if he went.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
And I'm sure the Hendrick organization would not have a problem with that.
Well, they don't generally have a problem stroking a check.
So let's just see what happens, how this plays out. He's saying all the right things right now about, if they go forward, I'm going forward. But he's not enthusiastically saying it.
No.
And I'm also hearing that Tony Stewart is not really enthusiastically saying it, but he's going along with the program. Now, what happens at the end of the year? You tell me.
My understanding it's a lot of money. I think Ford come in with a lot of money, and they want a bunch of tooling and stuff, which they're going to spend a bunch of money at Haas Automation. So it's a much bigger picture, and I understand the reason to do it from a business standpoint. With it 100%.
And there's also the possibility. That the F1 program that Haas has got going on right now is going to end up being a Ford program in time.
And they had a really good showing this weekend. Yeah. Well, they finished 6th, I think.
Yeah, I think it was 6th.
For an F1 team, that's huge money.
So we'll see. It plays into everything that I was thinking. And I'm sure if Mr. Hendrick has an opportunity to pick up a guy like Kevin Harvick to replace Casey Kane, because you got to admit, Casey Kane ain't doing anything.
No,
I mean, it's really bad.
I don't. And Casey can drive, but something's just not working.
But another thing that was being said, by the time those Cup cars get to Charlotte, and you heard it too, because we were down there when it was said. By the time that Cup car gets to Charlotte, the crew chief's going to be gone.
Mm-hmm.
And Grubb is going to come in there and take that spot. So I'm just saying, there's going to be that team cannot keep doing what they're doing, and Mr. Hendrick not do something
and it's
about
been a
it.
couple of years. It's been at least 3 years, I think.
And it's not because he can't drive. It's just he's got a monkey on
Something's
his
just
back.
not working.
He's got a
Sometimes
monkey
you
on his
gotta shake things up.
The Xfinity race. Well, we didn't finish on Danica, and I'm going to say one thing about Kyle Busch before we go on. I agree they shouldn't do a whole lot with Kyle, because number one, I kind of agree with him. What he was saying. Maybe the way he said it wasn't right, but I agree with him. That caution would have come out in any other situation. They would have thrown a caution.
They're not consistent.
No, at all. Not at
on
all.
the call. I agree.
So anyway, the Xfinity race, Austin Dillon wins the Xfinity race.
But on the Kyle Busch thing, if they fine him for not going to the media center, that I can take. The other part, if they fine him for something he said, I don't agree with.
Well, I'm sure he's going to get something for not going to the media center after the race is over with. But Danica, Danica
going on a racetrack, that's a biggie. I don't know. I didn't really see it, so I don't know.
She went to the edge of the racetrack and shook her fist at Casey Kane when he went by, or throwing her hands up or whatever. And
then Jennifer Jo Cobb, she was already on the racetrack and went a little further on the racetrack. So there may be some differences there.
I don't think so. I think they're going to do something about that too. And that's understandable. That's the rule,
Yeah.
But she was mad, and she had a reason to be upset, but
she can afford it.
Yeah, ain't no big deal. Xfinity race, as we said, Dillon won the race. That was a good race. Mm-hmm. Dillon came from whatever, I think it was fourth or fifth.
I think he was fourth at the white flag.
And then he ends up winning the race. Kyle cuts the tire down or hits the wall, whatever he did.
Got a left rear flat.
Okay, then he's down on the bottom trying to, because he had an 8-second lead.
Yeah, and then who's in the 19?
Daniel Suarez was in the 19.
He passed him going through 1 and 2, and then ran out of gas on the backstretch. Kyle passed him back, took the lead back over, and almost had it till I think they were about 100 yards or so from the flag stand. And Dillon come by, and he tried to squeeze him a little bit
up into the wall.
There.
Didn't work.
No, and you can't blame him. I mean, you got to try.
But then again, you don't know that that's exactly what he was doing, because that rear tire was down. It could have slung him up. That's what I'd say. It slung me up that way. I'm learning how to do this really good, because I've been hearing about things you've done.
Well, now you just claim it. I mean, that's what I did. I got out of the car and said, the next time I ain't got nothing to lose.
All
so
right,
if you screw with me, this is what's going to happen.
All right, the K&N race this week, the K&N West race, Todd Gilliland won again, and he is on a roll out there. And that's his second win. Of course, he won the East race the first time, but he won a West race this time.
Sooner or later, the kid's going to get a shot.
Oh, there's no doubt about that.
I tell you another one I've seen that's getting a few races this year is Super Shoe. Corey LaJoy, yeah. So it's great to see him getting a few races this year.
All right, our first guest tonight is going to be Kirsten Simmons from the Hornet division at South Boston Speedway.
The Hornet division.
That's it. See, I figured it out. I figured it out this week.
You figured it out, or she told you?
No, I figured it out. I went to the site and figured out what it was.
Well, I mean, you couldn't figure out something on this machine a while ago. I don't know how you figured it out.
I'm still having a hard time figuring out what's on this machine. Yeah, that's my cell phone. But let's see if I can get Kirsten on the phone.
And she has a twin sister that she races with.
Caitlin.
And they're twins.
Yes.
Correct. And their cars look almost identical.
Mm-hmm. Kirsten Simmons, how are you doing tonight? I'm doing good. This is Jack Dodson with Jack Dodson's Racing Insider News with Scott Allen. Glad to have you on tonight. Well, now tell us a little bit. You got your first win week before last at South Boston in the Hornet division. We were there. We watched it. I was really happy for you.
It took them a little while to get the race started.
Yeah, it did take a while to get the race started. So tell us a little bit about your first win. I know that was huge for you. Now, how is it with racing against your sister? That's got to be wild to be able to. Your cars look about the same, everything, and then racing with your sister. How is that? All right, who's the better driver? Let's start something. Who's the better driver?
Good answer. Good answer.
From what I've seen so far, I think you are too. And I'll get her on the show sometime real soon. I'll get her.
Ask her the same thing.
And we're going to ask her the same question. And if she asks me what you just did, I'm going to still say you. So what happened this past weekend up there? We didn't make it to South Boston this past weekend, but what happened up there this weekend? I heard you had some bad luck.
Uh-oh.
Now, your car, you say your car is totaled and you won't be able to get it back out?
Now, have you and your sister had a run-in on the racetrack yet? How did that turn out?
Now, how did Mom and Dad handle it? Now, how did you and your sister resolve it? Now, how close? I mean, you race together, your sisters. How close are you all as sisters?
Now, you guys are twins? Okay. Oh.
Oh, she's older than you. Oh, I did. Okay.
She buying you alcohol?
Now, don't listen to that. That we don't even need to go there at all. I'm sorry you have to deal with that, but anyway. But I mean, I thought for some reason y'all were twins or closer in age. I didn't know that you were that far apart.
So she's old. It's kind of like me and you. You're much older than me.
Well, now that she's and you say you're the better driver, I can understand now. I'm gonna definitely tell her you're the better driver.
We're really good at stirring something up.
Now, tell us a little bit how you got involved, or how both of you got involved in racing. I mean, where did it start, and how did you get interested in it?
She's already done a lot better than you and I ever did.
Yeah,
She is the better driver.
now you know what? Something you said there that just kind of struck a chord in me. You're the younger one, and you were racing, and then the older one decides she wants to race and took your cart. Yeah, okay, well, I'm gonna stir this up. I swear I'm getting her on the show real soon, and I'm gonna stir this up.
So does Dad make you guys work on your own cars?
So, so how much time do you spend working on the car out there? I know you go to school, so how much time do you spend on it?
Now, how was it when you went back to school on Monday? Cause was this your first stock car win? It was. So did you tell everybody when you got to school on Monday? So you're the popular kid in school, right?
Okay. Now, your sister's won one race too, right? She hasn't won a race. I thought she had won a race.
Well, she's just piling it up.
Well, then she ain't. Then she can't say that you're not the better driver. So where
You
is
don't have to. We'll do it.
so where is she tonight? Oh, okay. Well, does she cook good? Okay. Okay, I just didn't know whether you were going to end up at Wendy's or somewhere tonight. So where do you live at? Where do you live at, Kirsten? Oh, okay. I didn't know you were that close. You're in South Hill and go up to Brunswick Speedway. You know Al Baird up at Brunswick Speedway? Yeah, he's a good friend of mine. He used to be up here at Southampton when we were at Southampton, and
That was before she was born.
Anyway, don't listen to him. Anyway, he's a really a great guy, and he really put a lot of work into that track. So I'm tickled to death that you went up there and won a championship. Now, tell us a little bit about your sponsors and who all's helping you with the car and everything.
Mm.
And so you so with y'all got three cars out there. You seem like since you won a race, you ought to be able to boot somebody out of one of the other ones.
Mm.
So what is your plan for the future? Tell us what you would really like to do in racing as far as moving up and going. I know you're gonna probably end up going to school. So tell us a little bit about what your plans are.
how the sound was coming for the phone. It didn't seem to be going out. I think she had us on a
Speakerphone.
Yeah, I think so.
I think she had it on speakerphone too.
so if they couldn't hear us, that's the reason why.
But that was I mean, she was kind of cool. I liked talking to her.
And like I said, I thought they were twins too, but
I did not know there was that much of a difference between them, because that would have, that's. And then she says, she wins the first race, and then her goes out there and gets involved in go-karting, and the 21-year-old takes her car, takes her ride.
I know, but she won a couple championships. I mean, that's pretty good. And then finished second in the national level.
And
I give it to the kid.
And she looked good in that 45-minute race they had up there at South Boston.
I mean, the first
15 laps in 45 minutes. They were flat flying.
Yeah. I don't know if she was involved in any of that restarting there, but yeah. I mean, I think they didn't make a lap. They tore a few cars up, and I mean, I seen one person come from. I think they had started sixth. And I think that was the reason why they had to restart some. It was one of the reasons they had to restart some. And he went to, or whoever it was, they went to first before turn one. I mean, he weaved through the cars.
But how about,
I was like, oh, this ain't going to be good when they get into one.
How about before they took the green flag, a car blew up.
Oh, yeah, and put a bunch of oil down.
The car blew up on the pace lap. So it wasn't good. And then you had the modified race. And that was hilarious. I mean, you started out with 6. They ended up with 2.
The second place was a lap or 2 down.
Yeah, the second one was a lap or 2 down.
Yeah, I know Justin Kern for joking me because I said the 44 lost a motor. He said, no, he didn't. It's all over the racetrack. and then I had the skinny before he did because he didn't lose a motor. He lost a radiator hose. So there, Justin. But our boys have been representing pretty good there. Butterbean ran 4th Saturday.
They did great.
I can't remember where the 55 ended up.
55 ended up 3rd.
3rd, okay. I mean, those guys are doing pretty good down there.
I think Maddie she had an accident and tore her car up.
So. Oh, really? I didn't see, so I don't know.
I saw something on there where she didn't finish but 71 laps, and they was in a big wreck. Cause she said they said something about her being in a big wreck. So she evidently.
So it's a fault of her, not hers.
Well, we don't know. Yeah, but
I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah, we'll go with that because she's one of our favorites. But anyway, that's the way that goes. Well, we're expecting a call now, and I'm gonna set this up a little bit ahead of time. We're expecting a call from Carrie Denny. Now, Carrie Denny, from what I understand, is the spokesperson for the Southampton Speedway that's trying to get opened up now. She's working on that. Now, I don't know what all has transpired there today. A lot of stuff was supposed to happen today. She's going to hopefully call in here in a minute and tell us all about what's going on. But we're hoping that they get Southampton. I do, from a personal standpoint. I would love to see Southampton opened up again. I'm not going to say that's going to happen. I mean, I'm just saying we're going to listen to her, what she's going to tell us tonight. And
I'm going to just unplug that until she calls.
And, I mean, it would be a big deal for me because that's 7 or 8 miles from home. I can be there and be a part of that. And it was such a big part of our lives as we were coming, well, I ain't going to say growing up because I was already grown up. But it was a big part of our lives at one point. I mean, that was our every Friday, Saturday routine. I saw something my daughter put on Facebook the other day about that was such an important part of her life to go out there every week. And I didn't know it affected her like that, but it did. And she said that's what she looked forward to. So it would be nice to see it come back.
Did you let her sit in the car when you parked and watched the race? I tried to hold a straight face, but I couldn't do it.
I did that one time, and
that's usually all it takes. And did you just never live it down?
I never start in parked races. I went out there and I run the race, but with a couple laps left, I quit and went off the track. And so when they had the kids' night, I came back out.
Quitter.
With my kids in tow and brought them in and let them ride my race car. And at that point, it was more important than the race.
I agree. Kids are more important than the race.
And now, because of you, I'm being labeled a starting part.
You're welcome for that.
And you don't think I didn't catch your little message you left me the other day? I did catch it,
What
but I just didn't acknowledge it.
What message was that?
When I told you I went up there to Southampton to go around and I made a couple
I
laps
forgot
around
what
the
I
track,
said.
and you said, "Did you go by the place where you start and park and sit there for a little while?" I just did not acknowledge you, and
You do that a lot.
but there's a lot of things that I really don't.
But we're hoping that Kerry will clear the air and tell us what exactly is the plan at Southampton Motor Speedway. It's getting a lot of buzz. I mean, it's
Plug
it's
that
a,
in. Plug
it's
that
a
in.
big deal.
Plug it in. I'm gonna call her.
All right.
I'm gonna make the call. You go ahead and keep on. Well, never mind. Hello and good evening, Carrie. How you doing? All right, this is Jack, and I'm here. We're with Jack Dodsons Racing Insider News. I got Scott Allen here with me, and we were just talking about Southampton Speedway. So what we want to do is we're going to just turn it over to you, and let you tell what's going on and what you hope is going to happen here in the near future, and just give us an update on everything. Now, I noticed the other day I didn't notice. I saw it on Facebook. I have to be honest with you. I saw it on Facebook where you got the lights on, and how everything was looking up there. You had a group come up and clean up and do some work up there. So, what are some of the things you're planning for the coming for the end of this year and next year? Y-
Mm. So how? I mean, I'm probably asking a question answer too well, but anyway, what are you looking for in a time frame as far as the owner and everybody getting, I mean, the investors or whatever to get involved and be completely done with it?
Now I'm gonna play a little bit. You're probably not gonna like it. I'm gonna play a little bit of a devil's advocate here. You know, I've been hearing, and there's a lot of people in the Southampton County area, which I live in. Uh, they're excited. They can't wait for it. They've been knocking on my door. They've calling me on the phone. I'm getting text messages. You know, and that's great. And I think you're going to have some support. But then a lot of people have come and said, "Wait a minute, now you know we've heard all this before and we never got anywhere. How can?"
Not getting sound.
Right. Well, well, Carrie, you had a bunch of people come out Saturday and help clean up around the area and getting everything. When are you expecting to go ahead and start the repave and getting everything together? When you and I talked up there at the racetrack, you made the comment that you may have to do something with the building, and you're going to get new grandstands and everything in there, hopefully. And when do you expect? I mean, I know it's probably going to have to wait until everything is cut and dried, but I mean, is all this in line to be done? Well, you know, I'm like everybody else. I'm really excited. My dad is sitting here right now with us, and you know, we went up the other day. You were gone. We went up to the racetrack and kind of looked around, and you know, it's been such a big part of our lives to be a part of Southampton Speedway. We would love to see it come back. I mean, it's right there where we could be there and be a part of it, and it's a lot of fun for us. So we really want that to come into fruition for you, and everything works out good, and maybe it become a big hit there. But another thing, what I want to ask you was with your investor, is he buying the track or is it a lease situation? Well, you know that's what we want to get everything together and hopefully get this thing rolling real fast because I know there's a lot of people in that area, and I keep saying it, and I mean it because there is a lot of people that are really excited. I mean, you've seen the Facebook thing they put out about the Support Southampton Speedway Facebook page and all the pictures that are going up and everybody. I mean, I've never seen people get as excited in a long time about. I mean, the guys who used to race out there and everything, they're all really big into this. They really want to see it happen, and I can't wait. Well, Kerry, we appreciate you taking time out to call in and talk to us tonight, and hopefully next time we'll have you here, and be a part of the show. Maybe we can get the investor to come in with you, and maybe we can talk and get the update on everything. But I really appreciate your time. Um, so what is everything just kind of waiting now as far as you're concerned is at the racetrack, or will you all still be up there doing some work and getting some stuff done? Well, that's good. Well, we can't wait, and hopefully you'll be able to keep the local people involved and get everybody there and get them to, keep them in touch with everything so they'll know what's going on and be a part of it. I agree with you. All right. Well, we appreciate your time, and if you need anything, give me a holler. We'll be right there. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hey, we're not getting the phone call sound is not going through. I don't know. We didn't change anything from last week. I think we just had a phone call. I don't know what to. I don't know why it's not coming through. Because we can hear it, but it's not. It's not going through. We might just have to. For next one, let's just do speakerphone.
All right. Hello. Is this Jesse?
Yes, it's Jesse.
How you doing, sir? This is Jack Dodson with Jack Dodson's Racing Insider News. How's everything out your way?
This is pretty good. It's pretty good. Just got done working out and everything. Just came off of a fun race weekend and everything at Urbandale Speedway. So yeah, it's doing pretty good.
Now, tell us a little bit. I checked in on your Facebook and everything, and I understand you're a Navy veteran and everything. Tell us a little bit of how you got started in racing.
Yeah, so I definitely have a different path than a lot of racers out there racing. I went to the Naval Academy 2006 through 2010. Played college football there for 4 years and everything, and then when I graduated, I got stationed on the West Coast. Once I got the cars and racing and all of that. And when I did that, it just kind of brought me closer and closer towards racing. And I was like, you know what? I definitely want to start competitively racing. Because at that time, I was just going to local drag strips, drag racing with a Challenger I had at that time. I also had a Corvette too that I was taking to different road course tracks and just doing like open track days. And I met a guy who gave me the opportunity to test a stock car at Irwindale Speedway, S2. And I went and did that. It was good. Went well, and I got the opportunity after my second deployment to come back and start running late models at Irwindale Speedway, and from there it progressed to K&N, and that's where I'm at right now, running in the NASCAR K&N Pro West Series.
Are you planning on racing the whole series on the K&N West Series, or are you going to come over and do some East racing too?
The plan is to run just West right now. Just with the budget and everything, and just time wise, West is my best option. Because I am still active duty in the Navy. So I do have my Monday through Friday, morning till evening job. So trying to run both West and East would just be, one, financially really difficult, and two, just time wise, I wouldn't be able to make that happen.
So, whose car is this? Your car you're driving, or are you driving for somebody else?
I drive for someone else. So right right now I'm driving for Patriot Motorsports Group. A team owner is a guy named John Wood out of Idaho. He has a bunch of K&N cars. I mean, like this past weekend, we brought out about 5 K&N cars to that race. So yeah, we have a pretty good team. You know, a lot of guys and everything, different drivers and stuff. So yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, and he used to run in the K&N West a lot too, didn't he?
John, he's still running right now. He owns the team and he's still running.
Oh, okay. Well, you can see I didn't keep up very good with your race this past weekend. I know Todd Gilliland, one of our local guys from this area or from this side of the country, he won the race. But I mean, tell us a little bit. Have you run? You haven't run against any of the East drivers at all?
So pretty much the only time I get to run against the East guys are when they come over here to the West. And yeah, Todd won the race, which is just crazy. I mean, the guy has won, you know, pretty much like 3 straight. So he's on a roll. He's doing really, really good. And that's awesome for him. And I think he has, you know, he's very, very fortunate, you know, because he has, you know, his dad, you know, has been racing for his family, the racing family. So with that behind him, I think that helps him a lot. And it's really good for him. You know, it was cool actually watching him, you know, go out there and just, you know, kill it like he did.
So, how long have you been in the military?
I've been in since May of 2010. That's when I graduated from the Naval Academy, and I got commissioned as a surface warfare officer.
And now, if you get an opportunity, what are you going to do? Are you going to stay in, or are you going to pursue your driving?
So right now, I'm getting towards the end of my naval career. Well, not toward the end of my active duty. I plan on next year transitioning to the reserves. So once I transition to the reserves, at that point, I'll have a lot more time to continue to pursue my racing goals and just continue to progress from there.
Now, I stalked you on Facebook, and I see you were trying to raise awareness for his kid. Is it DD? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So there was a child by the name of Darian Nordstrom, and he's adopted. And, you know, the family that adopted him, basically what they found out was, you know, early on when Didi was about maybe a year or so old, they found out that he had some issues, he had a tumor, a pretty bad tumor. And with that, it just grew, and, you know, he has a pretty rare and deadly form of cancer that, you know, maybe 30% of kids actually survive. So he's been going through treatments and things like that, and they've been, you know, fighting pretty hard. He's in and out of hospitals, you know, pretty much, you know, every other week or so, depending on what's going on. And when I found out about the story, it was pretty sad. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. And then my friend had told me, hey, you know, he made a bucket list, and the bucket list, one of the items on it was to ride in a NASCAR race car, full blown. So I said, hey, I think I can make that happen. We have a 2-seater ride-along car at our shop in Idaho. What I'll do is if you get me in touch with the parents, I'll just fork out the money myself. I'll fly the parents and the kid up to Idaho, and we'll make his dream come true. And that's what we did. And when I got in touch with the parents and told, you know, the mother about it, she was in tears, and she just really loved it. And, you know, she was just very, very thankful and grateful that we were able to do this for Darian. And Darian just enjoyed the entire time. I mean, when he got up there, he was so full of life and, you know, smiling all day, laughing, joking, things like that. And it was great. And me and my team, I'm just really happy that we had the tools and the capability to make that whole weekend happen for Darian.
Well, that's pretty cool. I mean, I commend you for that. The kid looks like a special kid, and I hope he's in the other 30% that make it. And I mean, I commend you for that. I seen that story or seen that on your Facebook, and I just thought that was pretty cool because, you know, a lot of us, we get carried on with our own lives, and we don't realize the little things that you can do like that. And that's kind of small to somebody, you know, for us, but it's really big in his life, and that's cool. And I love that part of our sport.
Exactly. And that was the whole thing, you know, because, yeah, you know, being a driver and everything, you know, I've been blessed with the opportunity to do this. You know, not everyone has that chance. Not everyone has that opportunity. And since I have it, I'm like, you can't just race, you can't just drive for yourself. You can go out there, you can win as many races as you want, you can win as many championships as you want, you can do this, do that. But at the end of the day, none of that stuff really means anything. What really means stuff is when you can use what you've been given to create continuous opportunities for others. To help others better themselves so that they can go up and rise to their goals and their dreams, since you were able to be blessed with certain goals and dreams.
Right. Now, did anybody else in your family was into racing until you got into it?
There is none, absolutely none.
So what did they think when you just said, "Hey, I'm gonna go racing"?
So my parents weren't too fond of it. We were more of a traditional sports family, like football and all that stuff, track. My mom ran track, all through high school. My dad was a soccer player, and then me and my brothers, we actually played football all our life, and that's what got me through to the Naval Academy was playing football. I got recruited to play football there, and then played football all 4 years there in college. So that was kind of my main love, all through my, earlier years before I got into racing. So then when I made this jump from football after college to racing, everyone was like, "Whoa, what the heck?"
You done got hit in the head too many times.
Yeah, exactly right. So, but they all support it now. I mean, it took them a little while to really understand things and really start supporting it. But once they saw how passionate I was in it and how dedicated I was, and basically all the hard work I was putting in, every single day, every week, everyone started understanding, like, whoa, he's serious. He's not messing around. Like, he wants to do something with this. So then it really started supporting it, and that's good. Cause I definitely need it from family and friends, a lot of support. Because, I am a newbie in this sport, especially, stock car racing at least. It hasn't even been a year since my first stock car race. So, I'm very, very new to it.
Now, Jesse, everybody seems to know that the East Coast, the Charlotte area, and everything is the hub of stock car racing, let's say. Are there any plans in your future that you would like to come east and be in Charlotte and become a part of the framework of the racing situation here where you can get around to the other teams and develop a career?
Yes, that is in the plans, and that's been my goal. I think starting over here on the West Coast is good for me because over here I'll be able to really just work on honing my skills and running and just learning the basics, getting a lot of speed time, and doing what I have to do to progress my ability. And at the point where I feel comfortable, where I'm like, hey, I think I'm ready to compete with those guys over there on the East, at that point I think I can make that transition to go over there and make that happen. But I don't want to put myself in a bad situation where I'm still too early in my career and trying to run over there with some guys that have been running since the age of 5.
Well, now let's take a look at it in the fact that have you considered the diversity program and everything that they've got going on here to try to get into that program?
Yes. So I heard about the program. I heard about the program earlier last year is when I first heard about that program, and I did apply for it, but when I applied for it, I was a year older than their age cutoff limit, and they couldn't accept me because of that. And I told them, like, well, I know I'm a year older than your age cutoff limit, but I took a little bit of a different route in life than most of these other kids that are doing this. All these kids there, they're all high school or maybe early college or something like that. For me, I decided to go serve the country first before I chased my personal dreams. So if you could take that in consideration, but they couldn't. So it is what it is. I'm not. They have their rules and they're setting it, and that's perfectly fine.
Well, we hope you get an opportunity to get out here to the East and come out and do some racing out here, because we'd like to see you race out here and be a part of this. We can't keep up with you too good out there on the West Coast, but we would love to see you out here, and I hope you have a lot of good luck out there.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, definitely. I definitely want to make my way over to the East eventually. I will for sure. This year, I'm definitely getting as much seat time as possible over here in the West between dirt track racing and stock car racing. So between racing here in California and Idaho and maybe some other places, I'm going to give as much time as possible so that I'm ready to make that transition and create some opportunities so that I can go over to the East and start racing a little bit.
Well, you bring up an interesting point there. You said you're going to do some dirt racing. Which do you like better, the asphalt or the dirt racing?
So I love asphalt because I love NASCAR, but the dirt track racing is really, really fun. It's really, really fun. And not only is it really fun, it teaches you a lot. It teaches you a ton because there's so much going on, and you have less tools surrounding you to make things happen on track. Like, on stock car racing, you have a spotter in your ear, you have this and that. Dirt track, there's no spotter. It's just you. It's you on the track, and that's it. And you can barely see what's around you. And you're on the dirt. You're loose all over the place, and you're having to control yourself. Getting around those turns, sliding around those turns. You got somebody else trying to give you a slide job. Someone sliding in front, sliding behind you. Everyone's right there, and it's just crazy, controlled chaos the entire time. So I think it's really fun. What I've been racing is the winged outlaw carts, 500cc carts, and those things are, they're really fast, really quick. Their power to weight ratio is like about the same as a K&N car when you look at it. So it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, those things do look like a lot of fun. Jesse, we were wondering in the beginning when we knew we were going to have you on, how do you say your last name?
My last name is Iwuchi.
Okay.
And to us, you're going to still be Jesse. We're not going to try to do anything to that name to mess you up. So you're going to be Jesse from here on out. But we appreciate your time calling in here tonight. I know your time difference out there on the West Coast and everything. We appreciate it. One thing I got to say is thank you for your service and everything you've done. You're probably one of the few race car drivers can say you went through the Naval Academy and to become a stock car driver. We're really proud of that, and thank you for all you've done for us in this country to let us be able to do what we do.
Definitely, thank you so much for that. Yeah, I'm just trying to pave the way, for a lot of people, and just to show them that, hey, if you have dreams and goals out there, you can make it happen, no matter what. Don't let anything that others say deter you from going after a dream. Don't let people say that you're too old. Don't let people tell you that, since you didn't do this, you can't do that. People say things because they couldn't do it, but it doesn't mean that you can't. So I'm just out here to, just show people, hey, you can get to whatever goals and dreams you want to do. It's going to take a lot of work. It's not going to be easy. You're not going to be the best at first, but, you can just keep going, keep taking the hits, and just powering through. Eventually, you're going to progress. Eventually, you're going to get better, and eventually, it's going to pay off.
Watch with the old stuff because Jack's a little older, and I don't want you to give him any hope.
Say that one more time?
I said, be careful talking about the age thing because Jack's a little old, and you might be giving him false hope.
Hey, anybody can do anything. I have a friend, his name is James, and he's 53 and he's still racing out there. He's stock car racing and all that stuff. We got a guy in the K&N West Series, Jack Sellers. I think he's 70. He's in his 70s. Put it that way, and he's still racing with us.
Jack Sellers is about 76, I think, and he's been around a long time. I've not been around that long, so don't let him get into that situation. But anyway, Jesse, we really appreciate your time tonight. We're going to let you get back to what you were doing. Thank you for spending a little time with us and being here with us, and good luck to you. And we're going to get you back on here real soon. Get us the win, and we'll get you back on here and have a little bit of a celebration on here.
All right, definitely. Thank you so much, and thank you for having me on the show tonight.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
All right. Y'all have a good one.
You too.
What a nice young man. I mean, really. Well, I guess I don't know how old he is, but I guess he's got to be in his mid. What's the cutoff for to be on the compound? Be in the compound 25, 26?
I think it is. I think it is 20. I think
well,
it's.
He's young to Jack.
All right. We're not even.
And then for our fans out there, I guess our phone call was not going over the air. So, well, it doesn't record. Well, we're not going to be able to. But the gist of Southampton Speedway.
Yeah, we're gonna.
I wasn't paying attention. I was trying to see the back, but it wasn't working. And I didn't think about putting it on.
Well, Carrie, I'm sorry that we'll try to get you back on here and do this again. I didn't know there was a problem, but anyway, we're going to give the gist of it. And for what you said, she says they do have investors. They have a deal in place to go ahead and start with Southampton.
I didn't hear hardly any of it because I was trying to figure out. I don't know why our phone calls. We didn't have any problem last week with our phone working. I don't know why it's not working now. I'll play with that this week. But did she say it was to purchase or to lease, or did she answer?
She didn't really go that way. She said they made an offer to the owner to stay involved in it. She didn't really give us a good, solid answer on that point, but I'm sure that I'm sure by the way it was sounding, he was still going to be involved somehow with the track, whether it's going to be a lease situation or not. But I don't, But she said they've got everything in place. They're looking to try to get things done so they can run some practices and stuff up there in 2016. Start the season in 2017.
I can't imagine her being there. And she was working there earlier today. To not have no momentum, I should say, going. I mean, with people coming by, people are getting positive about it. I can't imagine to get maybe not this far, but a little further and get some people, more people involved, and then it not happen. I can't imagine it, something like that, and it not happen.
Well, you got to think about it is that the people in the area are really excited about it coming on. And
I heard you make your point.
Yeah, I mean, we want to see it. We want to see it come to pass. It's going to happen. But I understand business. There may be some things come up that they're going to have to work out.
And putting a deal together is not a quick thing, as we know with Langley Speedway, is not done yet. And don't discount Langley Speedway, but it's a work in progress, and it takes a long time when you're talking about a big negotiation like that is. It's a big deal, and it takes time, and there's so many channels you got to go through because you're negotiating between either a real estate agent, your attorney, their attorney, and it's got to it takes days to get an offer to one way and then a counter back, and it's just one offer could take a week.
And she said
there's a lot of money involved. And
she said that she's going to keep everybody informed of what's going on and how things are progressing. And she's going to in time the investor is going to he's going to let it be known who he is.
I wanted to ask who is it. I started to just
in
the middle.
I have asked that question, and you're not going to.
You're got nothing.
You're not going to get an answer right now, so might as well
Which I respect that. I do.
I mean, it's really, I want to see it come up. I want to see it done. But there's so much stuff right now in turmoil with Langley. We don't know. We want that place to open up again. I mean, that's no doubt about that.
Right.
But everything else seems to, there's a lot of turmoil around. And it seems like she's gone out there and hopefully, push the envelope and get us further than we've ever been before. Get that track back open.
Well, she is further. We got to give her credit because she is further than anybody has been in. How long has the place been closed? 10, 15 years?
Something like that, yeah.
So, the lights are on and the gate is open. That's further than anybody's been in 10 years.
Yeah, and I went up there the other day, and the track, it's going to need some work, and she seems to be the person. And, Carrie, I'm sorry that we didn't get you on. Evidently the sound was messed up or whatever. We will call you again and get you back on here to let you do it again. And for everybody that was out there listening, we're sorry about that, but we're gonna get her back, and I'm just trying to give you an overview now.
Are you trying to get fired to be in the sound engineer?
I don't know. You were the one messing with everything, so I really don't know.
You didn't fix it, so I had to do something.
Well, I was talking.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm talking.
I'm sorry.
But anyway, let's go back to what we're talking about. I hope we get it all in place. It'd be fun for me to be that close to a racetrack and be there And she said they've decided now. The big news that she had tonight was they're definitely going to be racing on a Saturday night.
That's big.
Well, initially I talked to her. I went up there and I talked to her, and her initial thoughts were she really didn't want to run against anybody else out there right now. She didn't want to run she wanted to run on Friday night. She didn't want to go up against South Boston. She didn't want to go up against possibly Langley. And when you talk to everybody that I talked to down there that day at the racetrack, everybody said, well, Friday nights is not really what we're going to be able to pull Friday nights off, because it's hard to get off work. It's hard to get there in time to be a part of the race. And and if you're racing, it's really going to be hard if you have another job.
Right.
So I think the decision that the investors made and Kerry and everybody there made about moving it to Saturday, to me, is a good move, because you got to start somewhere.
You do you do it.
Yeah, and she's they're going to go for NASCAR sanctioning, so that's going to be a process. They got to go through that.
I don't think she's going to be able to get that the first year. I think you have to be established before you can get a NASCAR sanction. And I think the reason I say that is because I know Dominion Speedway is NASCAR sanctioned, but because they had it previously, allowed them to continue, even though they were shut down for a few years, it allowed them to continue to be a NASCAR sanctioned track. Well, was it NASCAR sanctioned before?
Southampton was NASCAR sanctioned before too. But you got a little bit of a different situation there.
You do, because they're so close to Langley Speedway.
Right.
And if Langley Speedway, I have a lot of confidence in Bill Mullis. I know he's doing everything he can do to keep Langley Speedway open, and thank him for that, because I don't know where Langley would be without him. But to be so close to Langley Speedway, I don't know that you could get a NASCAR sanction without going to Friday night. That would be the only question. But I mean,
Southside's that's it's a NASCAR sanction, and they'd run Friday nights. But I think in the grand scheme of things, if you take a look at Southampton Speedway, where Southampton Speedway is located, no matter who races at Southampton Speedway, if they're coming from here, it's a drive. If you're coming
South Boston,
if you're coming from South Boston, or anywhere out that way, it's still a drive. North Carolina up to Southampton Speedway is a drive. It's not right on 95. It's off of 95, so you got to come into Southampton.
And to compete against all those guys that have been there for a long time on Saturday, that's going to be an uphill.
It's going to be an uphill battle. But the track is, it's a great track. They used to call it the Little Richmond. Because a lot of NASCAR, a lot of the Cup teams and Xfinity, what now is Xfinity, would go there and test. They'd go there and test, and I was up there a few times when they were testing. And
you tested them up there?
No, I did not test.
Oh, okay.
He's got to get right in the middle of everything. You notice that? But they would go up there and they would test. And
you just parked in your spot and watched. I'm gonna have to talk to Kerry and see if we can reserve a spot for you, because that would be. Well, that's what I mean. His old spot there. That would be funny.
This is really we're getting way away from what we were talking about here. Again, I apologize to everybody we're gonna get Kerry back, and I'm sorry. I know Adam Maddox. I saw Adam Maddox put a message on my Facebook and sent me a text message. Sorry about that, but it does look like it's getting further along than it has been. Nothing definitive as far as who the investors are. So we'll see how this progresses, but it's a lot further than it has been. The lights, like Scott said, the lights are on, and she's there. The gates are open. She's offered, anybody can come up there and take a look around, do what they, she wants you to come and be a part of that track. My understanding is, she's going to get everything started, and then, the investor and all of them will probably be running the track and doing everything there. But yeah, it's going to take a little while to get everything settled, and it. Let's
and I know under the understanding that it was going to be today or yesterday that we would have a kind of an answer and everything be out in the open. But
that's not. that's not a situation that really that she can control or anybody else can
No,
control.
and it is a process.
So let's just do what we can do and let's see what happens. But
Fingers crossed.
yeah, fingers crossed. And but we are moving along, and I'm looking forward to it. And so we'll see what happens.
All right, guys.
All right,
well,
wait a minute. No.
Oh.
I'm going for 3. Oh, wait a minute. We don't have a race this week.
No.
Nope.
So we can pick next week.
Yeah, we'll pick next week. We won't.
And
Then
we'll go to Martinsville. Who are you leaning towards picking for Martinsville? To me, there's probably 2 guys:
Well, one of them is Jimmy Johnson, I'm sure.
Jimmy Johnson, Kevin Harvick. Those guys have both been pretty good at Martinsville.
And Denny Hamlin.
Yeah, and Denny Hamlin. Yeah, I forgot about Denny Hamlin.
Denny Hamlin's always been. But other than that, to tell you the truth, I don't know how many other guys in that there that Carl Edwards I think has done well there, but I don't think he's ever won there.
He did good last year, and he credited a lot of that to Denny giving him some pointers about getting around Martinsville. Kevin's won there a few times and has been very good. But like you said, it's hard to go against Jimmy Johnson or the 24 there. I mean, we don't know how Chase is doing. I mean, Chase keeps running the way he is. He'll win a race this year.
Yeah, he's going. I think he will. But the thing about it is, Martinsville's a different.
It is, and he didn't do that well in his first appearance there.
He did not do well in that first race at Martinsville. So,
but I know it was a new car, and I know they had a lot of money in that car, and they had a lot of people. But that wasn't like a crew that went there full time every week,
and
it makes a difference. And the crew was just a put together. I mean, it was a $high team and a $high pit crew, but they were sort of pieced together kind of at the last minute. I hate to get on our boy, but it is what it is.
Yeah, and you didn't have Alan Gustafson either, so that's another thing. He's got some wins there, so he knows what that track's like. But still, I think that's going to be a reach for him to win at Martinsville.
It is, but hopefully he can keep his head straight and stay clear and clean. And I can't remember. I think he got tied up in somebody else's stuff last time and knocked the radiator out early, I believe.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we'll hope everybody has a great Easter. We'll see you next week. Hopefully next week, I'm working on a couple things. Hopefully we're going to have Richard Petty's nephew, Thad Moffitt. His grandson, Thad Moffitt, on the show. And hopefully by sometime in the next couple days, I'll know for sure. But I'm leaning to getting Donnie Allison on here. So I think that would be a lot of fun. So we'll see what happens. And I also sent a message to Bob Watson. Bill Watson's the sheriff.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk to him. But I sent down, he's the new track owner down at Carteret Speedway. It's a NASCAR sanctioned track down past Wilmington. Down in that area, it's been there for a little while, but they just got NASCAR sanctioned this year, and they're going to be opening up in a couple weeks. So, and I understand Adam Resnick. I don't know if you remember Adam Resnick. He's racing down there. So we'll have him on and let him talk about his racetrack.
Yeah.
So anyway, all right, fellas,
Girls,
fellas, everybody.
Yeah, we'll see you next week, and we'll have to have Kristen. Because I'm sure hers didn't go through, so we'll have to have her back also.
Yeah, we'll get them both back. We'll get Carrie and Kirsten back.
Yeah. We'll let Carrie get the stuff figured out there, and then
we'll also get Caitlin on here and talk about her cooking.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, all right. Well, we'll talk to you next week. See you later.
Yeah.